All right, our final question this week on the show, Jim, sent in to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Jesse Bowman. My name is Jesse. I've been a fan of yours for many years. While I don't necessarily agree with you on everything, I have always respected you for your intelligence and willingness to voice your opinions. It takes a certain amount of courage to voice one's opinion, even when such thoughts are unpopular. And while you are not the toughest individual in the world, your mental toughness makes up for that you lack.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Get to the point here.
Lastly, I've come across individuals who have stated that Otis, whom I know you despise, is like a modern-day Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, God.
I think these people are idiots, but perhaps I am wrong in this assertion. They tell me that he is an everyman who clicks with the crowd.
Oh, God.
That his fat-ass, hip-shaking, mumbling awkwardness, all of these things click with them. I don't get it. Dusty Rhodes, whom I was never really a fan of, I was more of a Roddy Piper and Kurt Angle guy, had charisma and a certain coolness to him, but to me, Otis just comes across as a fat dork who is best regaled to underneath comedy roles. Am I out of touch in this? It does seem like he's getting over, but I truly don't get it. Any thoughts you might have on this are greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Well, no, you're not nuts. You're actually probably the only sane one. I don't know who the fuck came up with that comparison, but that's farther off than the fucking Balding Bucks and the Midnight Express. You're right. He's a fat, not only, here's the thing. I'm not downing him because he's fat, but since he is fat and also a goof, he's a fat underneath clown goof that they're presenting as an idiot that mumbles and is a fucking object of ridicule. He's not every man. He's a goof, and he's being presented as a goof. And actually, if you want to get a goof over, as they showed with Eugene, the only time that the goof gets over is when the goof outsmarts all the fucking supposed smart people. And Otis ain't doing it. He just gets shit falling in his lap. But no, Dusty Rhodes, one of the greatest communicators of all time, being compared to a guy who mumbles. Dusty Rhodes, one of the greatest psychologists of all time, being compared to another guy just because they're both fat. There's no similarity whatsoever, and no similarity in the way that he's being presented as what got Dusty Rhodes over as a main event fucking superstar. There's no similarity in the performance. There's no similarity in the appearance. There's no similarity, period. It's manufactured similarity. Or maybe that's how they told him, and maybe how they sold it to him to tell him how to act goofy. Well, you'll be like Dusty. I don't have any idea where that comes from. That's ridiculous.
And I believe he has a legit amateur pedigree. I think he's a Jerry Briscoe guy that they've just decided to make into a goofy character.
Well, there you go. Okay, then, because Dusty couldn't have fucking shot wrestled his way out of a fucking paper bag, but he was a hell of a baseball player. But so there's no similarity there either. So
Otis, not the new Dusty Rhodes.
No. And boy, Dusty Rhodes ain't the old Otis either.
I kind of hate it when people make comparisons about wrestlers from yesterday to wrestlers of today, just because it really is hard to do. Everything is so radically different.
Well, but also when they've never seen someone, except on video, and when they weren't actually there, don't know how they were presented to people or how the people thought of them, and then they just try to make comparisons because somebody else said it on Twitter.